Post-Hypnotic Press presents What is Populism? By Jan-Werner Müller. Narrated by Simon Vance. The only meaning I can see in the word people is mixture. If you substitute for the word people the words number and mixture, you will get some very odd terms. The sovereign mixture, the will of the mixture, etc. Paul Valéry. All power comes from the people, but where does it go? Bertolt Brecht. Introduction. Is everyone a populist? No US election campaign in living memory has seen as many invocations of populism as the one unfolding in 2015 through 16. Both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders have been labelled populists. The term is regularly used as a synonym for anti-establishment, irrespective, it seems, of any particular political ideas. Content, as opposed to attitude, simply doesn't seem to matter. The term is thus also primarily associated with particular moods and emotions. Populists are angry. Their voters are frustrated or suffer from resentment. Similar claims are made about political leaders in Europe and their followers. Marine Le Pen and Geert Wilders, for instance, are commonly referred to as populists. Both these politicians are clearly on the right, but as with the Sanders phenomenon, left-wing insurgents are also labelled populists. There is Syriza in Greece, a left-wing alliance that came to power in January 2015. And Podemos in Spain, which shares with Syriza a fundamental opposition to Angela Merkel's austerity policies in response to the euro crisis. Both, especially Podemos, make a point of feeling inspired by what is commonly referred to as the pink tide in Latin America, the success of populist leaders such as Rafael Correa, Evo Morales, and above all, Hugo Chávez. Yet what do all these political actors actually have in common? If we hold with Hannah Arendt that political judgment is the capacity to draw proper distinctions, the widespread conflation of right and left when talking about populism should give us pause. Might the popularity of diagnosing all kinds of different phenomena as populism be a failure of political judgment? This book starts with the observation that, for all the talk about populism, the Bulgarian political scientist Ivan Krastev, one of the sharpest analysts of democratic life today, has even called our time an age of populism, it is far from obvious that we know what we are talking about. We simply do not have anything like a theory of populism, and we seem to lack coherent criteria for deciding when political actors turn populist in some meaningful sense. After all, every politician, especially in poll-driven democracies, wants to appeal to the people. All want to tell a story that can be understood by as many citizens as possible. All want to be sensitive to how ordinary folks think, and in particular feel. Might a populist simply be a successful politician one doesn't like? Can the charge populism perhaps itself be populist? Or might, in the end, populism actually be the authentic voice of democracy, as Christopher Lasch maintained? This book seeks to help us recognize and deal with populism. It aims to do so in three ways. First, I want to give an account of what kind of political actor qualifies as populist. I argue that it is a necessary but not sufficient condition to be critical of elites in order to count as a populist. Otherwise, anyone criticizing the status quo in, for instance, Greece, Italy, or the United States would by definition be a populist. And whatever else one thinks about Syriza, Beppe Grillo's insurgent five-star movement, or Sanders for that matter, it's hard to deny that their attacks on elites can often be justified. Also, virtually every presidential candidate in the United States would be a populist if criticism of existing elites is all there is to populism. Everyone, after all, runs against Washington. In addition to being anti-elitist, populists are always anti-pluralist. Populists claim that they, and they alone, represent the people. Think, for instance, of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declaring at a party congress, in defiance of his numerous
Sample complete. Ready to continue?